Hi everybody. So for my topic or my media news article, I did something that was actually posted on Facebook by Media Response Center, but it was originally by the ABC News Network about the statistics that everyone's using now about how there's been 18 school shootings in America since the beginning of the new year, and how that data has kind of been swayed in a certain light where of those 18 school shootings, 3 of them were suicides. One was a police officer's weapon who a third grader grabbed the gun and pulled the trigger and discharged, and one was a suicide in the parking lot. One was shot not even on the school grounds. One was an accidental discharge. So of those 18 school shootings that they're using, only 3 of them have led to any fatalities of any sort, and 2 of those were, or one of those were, the person that shot himself died, which isn't really a school shooting, it's a school suicide. But it's horrible, it's not a great thing, but it is one of those things where a lot of people can skewer information, where that data comes from a network called Everytown, or a website called Everytown, and they're the ones pushing this, and the news and all these people are pushing it to push a leftist agenda for stricter gun control, which no matter where you stand on that, it's not really important to the video. But it does talk about how it relates to Chapter 9 is the idea of appropriateness, and where you get your sources, and how everything's not always reliable, and where people get their information from matters, because something like this, where you source it correctly and everything, so the media is technically covered because they're not lying, they're citing a source that they have, but it doesn't mean that data is actually correct. But what I think this does show is, first of all, how as a country, everything we hear from things that are supposed to protect us, the media is supposed to be the watchdog, but our watchdog clearly only likes certain people or certain networks or however it is. So then we're stuck to sit and listen to information that may not be true or is true, but we don't know, because how can you trust anything where something as simple as school shootings are bad are now turned into who's there to blame and what the statistics actually are and what they actually look like, which is horrible. But this one clearly being more in favor to the right standpoint, because the left always points out how these are awful, and they're saying how frequent of a problem is, and one school shooting is horrible, but you hear the number 18 and you instantly think it's an epidemic, but it's not, because of those 18 school shootings, why have we only heard of 3 of them, or 2 of them as of this year, which was the 2 most recent ones. So it's interesting to me to see how everything is, but this definitely shows us that society can't really trust anything, because if you were to only listen to one side, you would just come to the conclusion that we have a problem where people are shooting up schools left and right, when in reality it's a problem, but it's not as frequent of a problem as we like to think. But yeah, that's what I got from this, just from this article, because it's really the first one you've seen that's not defending anything, because you can't defend that action, but more putting it in perspective of what it really is. That's it.